evening and welcome to the news from NT's Top Table. As usual, the Wednesday package comes with extra details. The extra touch from correspondents who go the extra mile for the Nigerian story, the Nigerian ideal, and the Nigerian reality. Tonight, a shot in the arm. Health sector receives an unprecedented boost as federal government approves 32.9 billion naira disbursement to key services within the sector.
32.9 billion naira will be disbursed now based on the new Basic Healthcare Provision Fund 2.0 guidelines.
Electoral Acts Amendment Bill scales second reading at the Senate.
I want to emphasize on the need for stiff penalties for election offenders.
Hawk eyes on Oka. Candidates intensify campaigns as citizens make specific demands on the development trajectory of the state. On our event review, we ask if Nigeria left the IMF annual meeting with a positive outlook on her fortunes. Also on business, we interrogate Nigeria's trade relations and areas of advantage to the domestic manufacturing sector. In sports, we'll analyze the CAF Award nominees just as we monitor the FIFA Under-17 Women Championship as the Nigeria Flamingos confront France. It's a loaded package, and as we say on this shift, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. I'm Ian Ray John. This is News Extra. Welcome. Let's hit the road tonight as President Bola Tinubu has formally received two senators who recently joined the All Progressives Congress, APC. President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, led the senators to the presidential villa this Wednesday evening. The senators, Kaila Samaila Dahua, Bochi North, and Agom Jerigbe, Cross River North, who were members of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, had recently announced their defection on the floor of the Senate. President of the Senate, Akpabio, says their reason for defection is based on national interest.
But as a result of the, what I may call Mr. President's policies that have tended to turn things around economically, and particularly in terms of revenue generation for the nation, they found it expedient to come in and join him to build Nigeria. Theirs is nothing but patriotism. They are not interested in which political party is in power. They are interested in who can run Nigeria, who can improve Nigeria, who can put food on the tables of Nigerians.
Because the president is really doing well, and I want to come in and support him.
We are not joining another political party or we're joining for anything but for, as patriotic Nigerians, to move Nigeria forward, because we believe the president is doing very well economically, in the security area and everywhere. So I think we just want to join this winning team so that we will win together.
The Senate President, along with two senators who recently defected to the APC. Now, staying with the Senate, the ongoing amendment of the Electoral Act is fundamental to restoring public trust, reduce post-election disputes, and empowerment of the election umpire to function without interference. The Electoral Act Amendment Bill 2022 today scaled second reading at the Senate. National Assembly correspondent Lamiali reports.
The Electoral Act tops the table of legislations in Nigeria that have undergone constant amendments to address shortcomings.
Electronic transmission of votes, real-time, and independent candidature will put checks to all the excesses.
Our political parties are the biggest challenge to our democracy. We have to look for a way by which we can introduce some regulation and control.
I want to emphasize on the need for stiff penalties
for election offenders.
I understand diaspora remittance is now more than the crude oil income coming into this country. If these people are so patriotic to be bringing in dollars so that it will improve our economy, why are they not allowed to determine the future of this country?
Debate during the second reading of the bill undergoing the 9th round of amendments was robust as legislators in the Red Chamber expressed support for a more transparent and accountable electoral process.
The defection issues, you cannot be elected in a platform and then you'll be defected. The mandate and the will of the people is being betrayed.
Cop the incidents of vote buying, where people openly buy votes during election time.
Nigerian people are tired. After how many years of democracy, we are still going to court.
It is assumed that whatever INEC does is perfect. So this time around, the INEC must be held responsible because they are the ones that have the electoral materials and they are the ones that are in charge of logistics and all. So we must give them some responsibilities in court to prove that, yes, indeed, their actions were legal.
Nigeria's bicameral legislature hopes to have in place an updated document before the next general election. Another key feature at plenary is the second reading of the bill that seeks an increase to the Basic Healthcare Provision Fund from 1 to 2% of the Consolidated Revenue Fund. President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, announced the receipt of a presidential request for the confirmation of his ministerial nominee.
Dr. Bernard Mohamed Duro for confirmation as minister.
In another engagement, Senate Committee on Federal Roads Maintenance Agency, FEMA, has screened the appointed board chairman of the agency with a call for improved service delivery on all projects. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
And staying with the National Assembly, but looking at the green side now, the House of Representatives has raised a red flag over the alleged use of harmful chemicals as preservatives in frozen foods and other edible commodities in Nigeria, saying it's a ticking time bomb that opens the flanks of the nation's public health. National Assembly correspondent Mitara Ikbe reports that the House Committee on Nutrition and Food Security has been mandated to lead an investigation into the menace and prefer far-reaching solutions.
Full chemicals.
Representative Chike Okafor, through a motion on the floor, drew attention to the persisting use of harmful chemicals to preserve food items, saying it amounts to prioritizing profits over people's lives.
Dangerous chemicals such as formalin, sniper, kerosene, and other harmful preservatives in frozen foods and other consumable items. Worried that these chemicals are often used to extend the shelf life of food products, which can be harmful for consumption, cancerous, and damage organs.
The House called on regulatory authorities to get tough on perpetrators. Another motion queried the rationale behind the $460 million CCTV project in Abuja, while crime rate is hitting the roof in the nation's capital.
Set up an ad hoc committee to investigate this monumental financial investment without a commensurate result.
Meanwhile, lawmakers expressed grief over the recent tanker explosion in Esa village in Niger State, which claimed many lives and left many others injured.
The Federal Road Maintenance Agency to immediately mobilize resources and contractors to commence full rehabilitation, expansion and completion of the Bida-Agay-Lapay-Lambatediko Road, especially the sections between Bida and Agay.
Among legislations that scaled second reading was a bill for an act to clarify the taxation powers of the three tiers of government.
At the heart of this bill is a simple but transformative goal, which is to align the revenue powers of the Federation, states, and local governments in a way that promotes efficiency, discourages duplication, and restores trust in the fiscal system.
At an inaugural briefing, the House Ad Hoc Committee on Pre-Shipment Inspection has vowed to recover all unremitted oil and non-oil export proceeds since 1996, estimated at more than $850 million.
Our work will be document-based, data-driven, transparent, and verifiable.
block every leakage where necessary, and to make sure that the revenue due to this nation is recovered where any has been lost.
The committee says it will engage forensic experts towards reconciling conflicting export data and addressing misappropriation of proceeds. From the National Assembly, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
Away from the National Assembly now, but still looking at health-related issues, the federal government has approved the disbursement of 32.9 billion naira across all implementing gateways under the Basic Healthcare Provision Fund, BHCPF. This comes as the Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Muhammad Ali Pate, unveiled the revised BHCPF Guideline 2.0, designed to enhance coordination and improvement of health outcomes across the country. Olusheye Adiagbo has all the details.
The 12th meeting of the Basic Healthcare Provision Fund, BHCPF, Ministerial Oversight Committee, marking the third quarter session for 2025. Key implementers of the BHCPF program are gathered to assess progress, measure impacts, and address challenges, particularly in the area of data collection and reliability.
More than 11,000 pregnant women have already received support in terms of emergency services. We've seen steady increase in utilization of primary health care. In the first 2 quarters of 2025, more than 80 million visits to primary health care centers have been recorded. We've discussed data.
A major highlight of the session is the official unveiling of the BHCPF 2.0 guideline, which promises stronger accountability and improved efficiency in health financing.
The guideline will guide the distribution of the 32.9 billion naira to be disbursed before the end of October to all the states and the primary health care centers, with the expectation that it will translate into improvement in the quality of services that they are delivering to Nigerians. We have also activated a joint task force which will work with the ICPC to ensure that the funds that have been released will be used at the communities and will be used well.
So some of the critical outcomes and outputs from these MOC meetings, one of them is to demonstrate better coordination among the various stakeholders and more effort to ensure that the data that we push out are reliable, putting in place mechanism for in-house validation of such data.
Among other resolutions, the federal government reaffirmed its commitment to strengthening oversight and ensuring greater transparency across the health sector through continued reforms of the Ministerial Oversight Committee. In Abuja, Olusheye Adiagbo, NTA News.
Away from health, let's look at other issues as Vice President Kashim Shettima has assured the Nigerian Union of Journalists that the Tinubu administration remains an ally of the media and is committed to protecting and advancing the journalism profession in the country. He gave the assurance when he hosted a delegation of the NUJ leadership led by the national president, Alhassan Yahaya, at the presidential villa in Abuja. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports.
National executives of the Fourth Estate of the Realm at the presidential villa to meet with the vice president. And the vice president started by recalling on how President Tinubu has long been supportive of the media and will not deviate from his consistent track record of upholding the integrity of the journalism profession in Nigeria.
I want to thank you. In spite of all the challenges, you have done creditably well in supporting the government. And we are one nation tied to a common destiny. What binds us together surpasses whatever that divides us. For me, I would rather be a small fish in a big pond than be a big fish in a small pond. And politics is about optics, about perception. We came in with negative perception.
noting that both government and the citizens expect a lot from the media, emphasizing that journalism profession stands almost at par with the judiciary, as journalists are expected to uphold public officials accountable and advocate on issues of governance.
So uneasy lies the head that wears the crown, and we are not complaining, no. Leadership is about continuity. Governance is about continuity. Uneasy lies the head that wears the crown. We knew the challenges facing us. We braced up for the challenges, and the nation is better for it. And I believe in the fullness of time, posterity will be kind to Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
NUJ is an umbrella body of all practicing journalists in Nigeria.
The Nigeria Union of Journalists sought partnerships with TED Fund, universities, and international media institutes to uplift training standards across the profession, as well as the creation of a permanent government media liaison platform under the Office of the Vice President to foster regular engagement, clarify national policies, and prevent the vacuum breeding misinformation.
We believe that under your watch and with the support of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, this administration can be remembered not just for reforming the economy, but also for protecting every freedom that guarantees a stable, informed, and united Nigeria.
Noting, however, that the press will always maintain the right to speak truth to power for the survival of democracy, with firm support in key areas of national development, despite the economic headwinds facing Nigeria. From the State House, Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, is soliciting partnership with the FCT administration to ensure successful hosting of the maiden edition of the International Air Show event in Abuja. The minister made his desire known when he led a delegation on a courtesy visit to the FCT Minister, Nyesom Wike, in his office. Onoze Yakubu reports.
The Air Show is an event scheduled to mark 100 years of aviation in the country. Being the nation's capital city, Abuja, the host city and the landlord, demands to be intimated. This informed this visit of the delegation led by the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo. The minister solicits the support of FCTA in the areas of logistics, publicity, security, and tourism promotion to ensure a hitch-free event. He reveals that the global event will feature major players in the international aviation industry, who will also showcase the country's aviation growth that will open new doors for tourism, trade, and foreign investment.
Since Nigeria became a country that receives aircraft into the country, from the first time the first aircraft landed in Nigeria in 1925 till now, this year is the 100 years of celebration of aviation in Nigeria. So as part of that 100 years celebration, we are partnering with a private company to drive this initiative, and massively supported and aided by the Nigerian Air Force.
We are to partner with them for the publicity. We also approve for you to use the billboard. But something has to be done here. Everything cannot be free. That's the problem Nigeria has. You want to advertise to the entire world, but I don't want to pay.
The event is slated for 2nd to the 4th of December this year. Onoze Yakubu, NTA News.
Let's talk business. Benny Adams is here. Benny.
We follow the money, and we'll start with bilateral trade, where Nigeria's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Yusuf Tuga, leading discussions on Nigeria's economic and foreign policy at the Reuters Next Gulf Summit in Abu Dhabi today, says tariffs imposed by the United States do not harm Nigeria to the same extent as they do other countries. This is as a result of diversified trade relations in addition to renewed hope efforts at growing the Nigerian economy.
Countries move out of poverty and become more gentrified. The demand is not on exporting raw materials and agricultural commodities. It's on finished goods. So we want to be part of that. And then, of course, infrastructure. In constructing infrastructure, you are immediately creating jobs. which would provide those linkages. So rail, gas pipelines, and broadband, and all of that. So this is what we're looking at.
Now, oil prices pushed higher for a second day on Wednesday, rising by about 2%, just as gold and silver prices remain jittery on Wednesday after the sharpest pullback in more than 5 years. Let's see the numbers for other commodities in the market at this time. And moving to stocks, a midweek trading delivered a stark contrast in performance across Africa's key equity markets, showcasing powerful record-setting growth in Nigeria, minor caution in South Africa, and steady incremental gains in Tunisia. This is as the Nigerian equities marked the third consecutive session of gains, as such that saw investors cash out a staggering 1.5 trillion naira in the market value, a clear sign of significant money flowing through the exchange. In contrast to Nigeria's fireworks, the South African GSE Top 40 experienced a further decline. While the dip can be described as marginal, it signals continued investor caution or profit taking within the continent's most industrialized economy. But stocks to watch out for in South Africa are mining and financial stocks. For the Tunisia Tune Index, it offered a picture of calm, steady appreciation as it recorded a modest but meaningful increase of 0.37%, marking a continued incremental rise in both index points as well as the total market value. This movement suggests stability and consistent, if not spectacular, positive sentiment. That is it on business at this time. Here, I'm waiting for you to list the Nigeria's capital market. Well, before then, it's time to take a break.
Well done. Many thanks for staying with us. Government and sub-government agencies have continued to visit the scene of the tanker explosion that has claimed many lives, leaving others critically injured. Musa Mekar reports that awareness campaigns have been advocated to avoid future reoccurrence.
National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, and delegation from the Niger State government were at the scene of the tanker explosion to assess the root cause and also forestall future reoccurrence. Bad road was identified as the major cause of the accident and advocated the need to step up sensitization campaigns on the dangers associated with scooping petroleum products whenever such accidents occur.
This explosion occurred as a result of bad road coupled with the nature of our youth. Whenever the tanker had an accident, they will just rush to the scene, and the best thing they can do is to scoop the fuel.
The state government, on its part, has supported the victims with cash donation and some consumables. The government further seeks the federal government's intervention to fix dilapidated roads to prevent similar tragedies. Musa Mikail, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the federal government has condoled with the government and people of Niger State over the tragic petrol tanker explosion. In a statement, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, notes that the federal government is saddened that despite sustained public sensitization and repeated warnings about the dangers of scooping fuel from falling tankers, some citizens still take such life-threatening risk. He says the federal government commends the swift response of Niger State government, security agencies and emergency responders in managing the situation. The National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, has been directed to complement ongoing efforts by the state government in providing relief and medical assistance to victims and their families, while the National Orientation Agency is to intensify nationwide public awareness campaigns on safety measures, particularly in rural and high-risk communities, to prevent the reoccurrence of such tragedies. Similarly, the Northern Senators Forum extends condolences to the government and people of Niger State over the tragic tanker explosion that occurred in Kacha local government area, claiming about 38 lives. In a statement, Chairman of the Forum, Senator Abdulaziz Yaradua, expresses sadness and praise for the repose of the departed souls, describing the tragic incident as a reminder to prioritize road safety and the enforcement of safety protocols, particularly with regards to the transportation of hazardous materials. The forum asked the Federal Road Safety Corps to intensify efforts in ensuring that tankers and other vehicles are roadworthy and comply with safety standards. Now, the Federal Road Safety Corps is warning Nigerians, especially motorists and commuters, against distracted driving and the dangerous practice of scooping fuel from falling tankers, identified as contributing to road traffic crashes in the country. Corps Marshal Sheikh Mohammed handed this warning at the Ember Month sensitization campaign in Abuja. Oyeyemi Ajayi has all the details.
In the middle of the Ember Months, activities of the Federal Road Safety Corps is on top gear, especially its campaign activities, warning motorists against road traffic offences. This time around, stand against distractive driving becomes the major concern as the Corps Marshal Sheikh Mohammed, represented by the Corps Public Education Officer Segun Ogungbemide, took the campaigns to Jabi, Zuba and Gwaripa parks, asking commercial bus drivers and tricycle riders to act right.
If your driver is making call while driving, that's distracted driving. Please advise him. If your driver is drinking or eating while driving, please tell him it's distracted driving. And if your driver is even making overtaking at a wrong place, it's distraction, because definitely it will derail. And these are the things that lead to road traffic crashes. And it's not just about internal distraction. We have external distractions.
Top among its major areas of concern is cautioning Nigerians to desist from engaging in the acts of fuel siphoning and scooping, noting the dangers inherent is more than the gains. Oyeyemi Ajayi, NTA News.
Let's look at the elections coming up on November 8th. Of course, with less than a month to the November 8th Anambra State governorship election, traditional and community leaders say they are not leaving any stone unturned in their preparation to ensure that every adult of voting age participates in the election. Let's hear Uchenna Nwokoyo report.
In every election, majority of the voters are the rural dwellers. It is in recognition of this that royal fathers and community leaders are on their toes, mobilizing their subjects to ensure full participation.
We are telling our people, various communities, to come out and mass and vote.
Let there be a peaceful election. We are also mobilizing them, sensitizing them, telling them that our votes will count.
Meanwhile, stakeholders in the election are optimistic that the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, will use the Anambra election to boost people's confidence in the electoral body.
I believe very strongly that the people's vote must count. INEC has an opportunity to redeem its image.
We, the Anambra people, we have to change our attitude to election and politics. I have my belief in INEC. All I'm asking people, come out, vote, stand and defend your vote.
16 political parties are participating in the November 8 Anambra State governorship election. In Onitsha, Uchenna Nwokoyo, NTA News.
And tonight on Candidate Face-Off for the Anambra governorship election, scheduled for November 8th, we actually invited the ADC candidates, talking about John Nwosu, but at the moment we're unable to establish a connection with him via Zoom. But we have with us in the studio the PDP aspirant in the election, candidate Jude Ezenwafo. Many thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, as we count down to November 8th, I'd like to ask, how prepared is your party, especially with the defections ongoing at the moment?
Very well prepared. Very well prepared. PDP and Anambra State is still PDP, and we are very well prepared for the election, hoping to come out victorious.
All right, I like the fact that you're optimistic about this, but would you rate these campaigns for us? Has it been issue-based, or you feel otherwise?
Politics with its dynamics
That is it. That is what is expected. It's basically issue-based, even though some are ranting. But in PDP, we are focused on generating our organic voters because we are the grassroots in Anambra State.
All right, talking about organic voters, what message do you have for the people of Anambra State as regards what your party intends to do if you emerge victorious?
I'm trying to bring back Anambra, bring back the prosperous Anambra we used to be, more secured and prosperous Anambra we used to be. And that is my target, a secured Anambra and a prosperous Anambra. Every other thing in Anambra State, the Anambra needed is focused on security and prosperity. It covers both our educational system, our economic growth, the agricultural sector. Anambra is well harnessed. The agriculture, we are gifted with the arable lands. But because of insecurity, there's nothing happening. But when you secure Anambra, every other thing will follow.
Well said, Jude Izenwafo. We need to round off because of time, but on final note, what would be your message to INEC just to ensure that on November 8th, everything is smooth and fine?
The eyes of the world is on the new INEC chairman. The eyes of the world, our eyes is on the INEC now. Because as we are there doing organic mobilization, most of them are hoping on either vote buying or causing electoral malpractice. But we are there. We know how to tackle all of them. But I plead on the new INEC chairman to please use this one to show that is indeed what he told us at the Senate House when he was being screened.
Many thanks, Jude Izenwafo, PDP candidate in the Anambra governorship election, which is just about 3 weeks away, November 8th. We expect more candidates, of course, to join us for candidate face-off on News Extra. Many thanks once again, Jude. Wishing you the very best.
Pretty lady.
All right, so that's candidates face-off. Let's look at other issues, but of course electoral issues, as youths in Akwa Ibom State have embarked on a peaceful protest to drive home support for the Senate President, Senator Godswill Akpabio, while condemning allegations purportedly leveled against him in the social media. Joy Ubani reports that a solidarity walk took the youths round some streets in Uyo, the Akwa Ibom State capital.
In a display of unity and civil engagement, youth from the 31 local government areas of Akwa Ibom State gather for a peaceful walk to draw government's attention as well as that of the police to the allegation of killings by one part Akpabio published on the social media. The youths demand explanation from the said part Akpabio through their letters to the state government and the police.
We are here today to consult, to tell you that there are a series of videos going on online indicting the President of the Senate.
Before now, some other persons also have sent petition to me, the Commissioner of Police of Akwa Ibom State, and we have since commenced investigation into this matter.
The governor of Akwa Ibom State does not tolerate, he has zero tolerance for unlawfulness.
The protestants say they look forward to further investigations by relevant authorities. In Uyo, Joy Ubani, NTA News.
In keeping Nigeria's democracy alive and looking ahead of ongoing reforms in the electoral process, the National Assembly is being commended for its efforts in the ongoing review of the Electoral Act 2022. This was at a colloquium on 10 years of leadership of Professor Mahmood Yakubu as chairman of INEC. Timothy Yusuf was there.
With the team strengthening Nigeria's democracy, reflections on a decade of INEC leadership, organizer of this colloquium believes that it is to reflect on a defining era in Nigeria's democratic journey, the 10 years of leadership of Professor Mahmoud Yakubu as chairman of INEC, not merely to celebrate tenure, but to reflect, review, and recommend.
He democratized information through consultation with stakeholders and strengthened the Commission's internal systems. Importantly, he opened INEC doors to wider civil society, media, and other groups.
Panelists advocated for prompt conclusion of the ongoing efforts to amending the 2022 Electoral Act and the Constitution, believing that early assent will give INEC the opportunity to plan adequately.
Political parties were made to own the system of uploading their candidates using technology under the supervision of INEC.
As we celebrate his legacy, we also affirm the principle he has championed throughout his career, that elections are not events, but processes.
The new commission, the one that is on ground now, must learn from the weakness of the Mahmoud era.
Acknowledging leadership and achievements under Professor Yakubu's leadership, speakers cutting across all election stakeholders maintained that INEC has recorded remarkable gains, from the deployment of technology through BVAS and IREV to improved logistics planning and stakeholder engagement. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
Let's focus on brands now. The 17th edition of the Indomie Heroes Award has celebrated young children who may not make headlines but continue to inspire their communities through bravery, compassion, and creativity across Nigeria. Charles Alpha reports that cash prizes were given to winners and runners-up at this year's event.
The Indomie Heroes Award targets children under the age of 15, recognizing acts of courage and innovation that make a difference. This year, organizers extended monetary support to the runners-up, a gesture that say reaffirms their belief that children are not just leaders of tomorrow, but role models of today.
Since inception, this award have celebrated the children under 15 years and below who show exceptional courage, selflessness, or ingenuity. Over the years, we have been inspired by stories of young Nigerians whose action uplift their community and prove the promise of the next generation. This year, we raised the cash prize for winners and for the first time, extended monetary support to runners-up because every heroic act deserves honor. We also traveled further than ever to discover untold stories, to amplify them, knowing that courage sparks more courage. The Indomie Independence Day Awards is more than a community.
As the 17th Indomie Heroes Award shines a spotlight on these exceptional young minds, parents, teachers, and guardians are advised to nurture and amplify their voices because courage, that say, lives in every child. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
Congratulations to the children there, and of course more congratulations as winners have started emerging from the Golden Penny Food 65th anniversary Buy and Win Golden Promo. Bolaji Akim reports that a customer from Ekiti State won the first car prize during the maiden raffle draw held live in Lagos.
You have just won yourself a brand new car! Vroom, vroom. Yes, you!
That is the presentation of prizes to the first set of winners of the Golden Penny Food 65th Anniversary Buy and Win Golden Promotion. For 65 years, Golden Penny has consistently delivered nourishing food to homes and families across the country. To appreciate its customers and consumers nationwide, Golden Penny is rolling out a series of goodies and mouth-watering gifts. Management of the company revealed that draws for the promo we hold every week, where lovers of Golden Penny products will have the opportunity to win gifts like tabletop gas cookers, refrigerators, brand new cars, and other prizes.
For us, 65 years is a celebration of consistency, celebration of loyalty, celebration of the bond that we've built over the years with millions of households. And that's why, we are giving back with over 4 billion naira worth of prizes and cash to be won to enrich lives in meaningful ways.
Brand manager Ball Foods speaks more on how to qualify for the promo.
Just buy 10 packs of Golden Penny noodles, 3 packs of Golden Penny Semovita, 500 grams or 1 kg, and then 3 packs of Golden Penny pasta. Any variant of the pasta, be it spaghetti, twist, macaroni, couscous. Take all these packs to a designated redemption center. Once you enter into the raffle, you stand a chance to win any of these amazing prizes. Participants can also win instant airtime aside, entering into the promo.
About 300 redemption centers have been established across the country to make it easy for participants to submit entries and also receive their prizes. For more information about the promo, visit the company's website at www.goldenpennypromo.com. In Lagos, Bolaji Akeem, NTA News.
Yeah, all right. Beautiful. Now, Nivea, one of the Beiersdorf brands, is keeping to its commitment of making remarkable impact in the society and promoting meaningful human connections. The brand is collaborating with SOS Children's Village, an organization that aligns with its global mission of addressing loneliness and other psychosocial developmental issues by contributing over 96 million naira in intervention funds. Emel Dore's report is presented from our studios.
This initiative is embedded in Beiersdorf Wide Care Beyond Skin Sustainability agenda. It aims to fight social isolation, which is considered one of the most pressing challenges to physical and mental health of the modern world. Nivea believes fostering genuine human connections, embracing inclusivity, can build a world where fewer people feel isolated.
We have actually had a working session with SOS Children's Village where we have defined metrics. So it's not for us, it's not about only reach, but we want to make the impact. And as soon as we start we have a goal, 2-3 years where we want to get to in terms of reducing social isolation and loneliness.
This was a perfect combination, a perfect partnership, especially because we have shared values, shared DNA of care, trust, and togetherness.
The collaboration with SOS Children's Villages in Nigeria is a long-term commitment to increase its impact to providing care, promote social inclusion, and fight the silent epidemic by fostering stability, safety, and security for vulnerable children and families.
The various components of the project would include both the psychosocial support, we include referrals to professionals, where they will get diagnosis, drugs if possible, all under this partnership.
So we just believe that these funds will be used to, continue the intervention programs that they are currently executing and, have even more people on board.
The Nivea Connect platform is designed to empower, educate people on how to take action and inspire environments where people can ask for support without fear. This partnership between Nivea and the SOS Children's Villages is expected to challenge the stigma, promote greater awareness, and implement effective solutions to combat social isolation.
Now time to take another break. Please stay with us. Well, thanks for staying with us. Regarding public infrastructure and assets as no man's property, it's confirmed to be erroneous. And many people hold this ideology dearly. Findings by our correspondent Kenneth Nanim show that impressions such as this are part of reasons for vandalism, negligence, and lack of maintenance culture among citizens.
Public infrastructures are usually provided with taxpayers' money and therefore are collectively owned by the public as they serve public interests. In some public institutions, one could see vehicles abandoned here and there. As such, they depreciate in value. This long vehicle parked here is one of public assets belonging to a particular organization. Background check at my disposal reveals that when this vehicle developed a little fault, it was parked with the hope that it could be repaired. Unfortunately, that hope did not come, and the vehicle is now in a very bad state. requiring a huge amount of money for it to be repaired and be put into use. In some cases, some of these infrastructures or assets are abandoned to be overgrown by grasses or become dilapidated out of negligence or carelessness. These include buildings and bridges and roads that are also left to fail. There is this negative notion held by some persons regarding public infrastructures as a no man's property.
And first in the line of blame are those who are entrusted with direct responsibility for such vehicles. We have conducted several sensitization exercises on citizens' ownership of public infrastructure and property, to protect such properties in various communities.
Could walk into a market now that has like open stores or bathrooms and everything, and you see that it's very, very dirty. This is actually the responsibility of the caretakers that are supposed to be there.
When an infrastructure or facility gets spoiled, nobody cares to repair.
If you preserve all of these things or you take care of your infrastructures, it means even those who are coming after us would still enjoy those benefits too. So it's really important we learn this habit of maintenance.
This attitude of allowing public infrastructures to dilapidate or get damaged or fail in terms of roads and other construction works is a narrative that concerned citizens say must be addressed. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
Many thanks, Kenneth, for that report. Indeed, public infrastructure is your property. Protect it. In Jigawa State, a major step has been taken towards ending the age-long Amadure street begging phenomenon as the state government commences the implementation of far-reaching reforms aimed at providing a permanent and sustainable solution to the Amadure system of education. Muhammad Musa Askira tells us more about the new Sangaya schools.
The Jigawa State government has begun the construction and operation of comprehensive Tangaya schools across the state. Some of these schools have already been completed, with students currently admitted and undergoing studies. The new Tangaya model is designed to combine both Islamic and Western education, ensuring that pupils receive balanced and holistic learning experience. Each school is fully equipped with modern hostels, classrooms, kitchens, laundry facilities, and skills acquisition centers, creating a conducive environment for learning, personal development, and moral upbringing. At one of the newly established Tangaya School in Sule Tankraka town, over 400 students have been enrolled to pursue formal education tailored to nurture them into responsible and productive members of the society.
Already we have enrolled about 500 students now. And we did that through the Almajiri prison system that we established in Jigawa State. And this school comprises of at least 5 local government areas.
The Jigawa Model Tangaya School initiative is a deliberate and forward-looking approach aimed at addressing the challenge of out-of-school children and eradicating Almajiri street begging. With this bold initiative, Jigawa State is reaffirming its commitments to education, social reform, and youth empowerment. From Dutse, Muhammad Musa Askira, NTA News.
And from Jigawa, we head to Kogi, where the state government, through the Adolescent Girls Initiative for Learning and Empowerment, Agile, is intensifying efforts at helping young girls in the state to achieve their educational dreams. As part of this initiative, the state government has commenced the distribution of conditional cash transfer ATM cards to beneficiaries in the 3 senatorial districts in Kogi. Jonathan Omajili reports that the initiative is aimed at reducing financial burden and encourage adolescent girls to acquire education.
Are you happy? Yes, sir. If you are happy, say hi.
Hi. A wave of excitement is sweeping through schools across Kogi State. For many young girls, financial challenges will no longer be a barrier to their dream of quality education. This renewed hope is driven by the Kogi State Adolescent Girls Initiative for Learning and Empowerment Project, Agile. Through its conditional cash transfer program and the ongoing distribution of ATM cards, the project is lifting a major burden off parents and students, ensuring that finances no longer stand between girls and their education.
We are happy because of this agile program that they brought to us. It made our children to be eager to come to school.
I'm happy for the things that the government are doing for us. They help us so that we'll continue our education.
The project coordinator of the Kogi State Agile, Ahmed Tijani, expressed satisfaction with the transparent and impactful distribution of conditional cash transfer ATM cards to beneficiaries across Kogi State.
During the flag off, we made it abundantly clear. The governor emphasized it, that this money cannot be spent for any other thing other than to make the adolescent child a bit more comfortable, in school. And and I'm happy. That is what I have done my back end check, and I can tell you without missing words that the parents are not deviating.
The program is across the 21 Nigerian in Kogi State, and which we have covered up to 8 local governments. Today we'll make it 9 local governments.
The CCT component remains a pillar of Agile's mission, promoting girl-child empowerment through education, financial inclusion and social support, and ensuring that no girl in Kogi State is left behind in the pursuit of learning, dignity and self-reliance. Jonathan Omajali, NTA News.
Another break beckons. Please remain tuned. Well, thanks for staying with us. Integrated measles rubella vaccination campaign kicks off in parts of Borno State, targeting children between 9 months and 14 years across the 27 local government areas. A powerful step towards a healthier population. In a region still healing from years of crisis, the measles rubella campaign is more than a public health exercise. It's an investment in hope, survival, and the future of Borno's children. Tina Turo will take us on this ride.
Statistics by the World Health Organization reveal that Nigeria recorded over 94,000 measles cases between 2019 and 2024, with the Northeast region accounting for more than half, as years of insecurity disrupted access to healthcare. Borno State, once a major hotspot for outbreaks, has made significant progress thanks to consistent immunization campaigns and community awareness programs. For many parents here, this simple injection represents more than protection. It is a symbol of hope, recovery, and resilience in a state that has seen far too much loss.
I brought my sick child and I came across the exercise. I will also bring my other 2 children for the vaccination.
With over 2 million children targeted for measles, rubella, and other vaccinations across Borno State, the government has reaffirmed its commitment to achieving full coverage, declaring a temporary closure of schools to ensure that no child is left behind.
Some of the military personnel themselves were trained in how to, administer vaccines, and they also assisted together with the civilian JTF counterpart. So there is so much improvement in that. It is an effort to make the children available.
The Gates Foundation and other development partners in Borno State reaffirmed their support towards achieving universal immunization coverage.
We have mothers that are doing the right thing and protecting their children, going sometimes, distances to these vaccination points, such as we're at now, to get their children vaccinated with polio vaccine, measles vaccine. We mentioned HPV, which prevents cervical cancer, yellow fever vaccine, all of the routine vaccines.
We have never had such a campaign in terms of turnout, in terms of mobilization, in terms of prompt logistics, in terms of supportive supervision from partners and people outside state.
We were sensitized, and we have come back to our communities to sensitize the people. You can see a large number of children who have been vaccinated in one of these teams. We have numbered about 22 teams in my area.
Mobile vaccination teams are back, navigating rough terrains and remote villages to ensure no child is forgotten. In Maiduguri, Tina Toro, NTA News.
Let's move from Borno State now, as people frequently justify their inappropriate behavior by blaming government failures. However, there are concerns that leaders often come from among the followers, and that societal issues can be addressed through a bottom-up approach. As this debate and blame shifting continue, Ramatu Abdullahi in this special report explores a potential solution to this issue.
A true Nigerian is often seen as someone who embodies values such as selflessness, patriotism, and integrity. However, experts contend that the country continues to regress because many people have chosen to abandon these values.
The correction has to start from the home.
Experts assert that the blame game among stakeholders is unproductive and that what is essential is finding solutions to why some Nigerians ignore glaring issues such as the disappearance of manhole covers on familiar roads and everyday acts of corruption. Societal and economic pressures are often believed to lead individuals to mind their own business.
But if you're not going to apply yourself to serve humanity, to serve people that you see around you, then you're going to concentrate on your problems. And the more you concentrate on your problems, the bigger they look.
Contentment is a problem that many Nigerians don't have. Religious bodies, please tell Nigerians the truth that at the end of life, you don't do anything with this money.
Director of Special Duties at the National Orientation Agency, Dr. David Akoji, points out that though successive governments have launched various campaigns aimed at promoting these values among Nigerians.
Why is it that change begins with me did not work? Why is it that do the right thing, transform Nigeria did not work? So we found two major reasons. One of those reasons was that the elements that would have instigated and nurtured those changes were not embedded in institutions. And that is why under the current leadership we have come up with what we call the National Values Charter. Attitudes are formed by values.
Religious leaders also advocate adherence to laws and principles.
For example, if I have a mosque and the president of this country or the minister or the vice president happens to be in my mosque, in my masjid now, instead of me to give them the real clue of what goes on around within the country that they don't know, because they can't know everything. For us to listen to what the general citizens are saying about them, we change our topic. And rather, we begin to have what we call praises and eulogies.
The Bible says that train up a child in the way he should go, so that when he grows up, he will not depart from it.
From all the responses gathered, it is clear that it requires an interconnected effort for a better society. Ramatu Abdullahi, NTA News.
Well said, Ramatu. Many thanks for that package. Now, in line with President Bola Tinubu's administration's renewed commitment to empowering women through agricultural and social investment programs, attention once again turns to those whose hands till the soil and keep families nourished through their struggles. These women remain central to national growth. Ifeoma Ikoje reports on their resilience, enterprise, and a call for government's continued efforts to ensure that their hard work truly translates into lasting progress. Let's join Ifeoma in Ekeki community in Yenagoa.
From the farmlands of Nembe to the bustling markets of Swali, Bansha and Opolo, rural women remain the heartbeat of Nigeria's food and family systems. They plant, harvest, trade and nurture, yet their daily contributions often go unnoticed.
They train tolo with dogs. I get money to do big poultry. I used to go to markets, collect my business product from my customers without paying because I have no capital to buy them.
I want the government to support us so that we can have a little money to support ourselves.
To celebrate rural women, attention is once again drawn to those whose hands sustain families.
I got 10 children, 18 grandchildren. I don't get helper. I don't work, I need to eat. I don't hold by force. For me, I beg government. I beg. Make it them empower us.
Across the country, women make up nearly half of the agricultural labor force. Government and development partners should increasingly focus on empowering rural women through training, agricultural cooperatives, and small-scale enterprise support, bridging the gap between potential and productivity.
Most times when they go for a loan, because they are not educated and they don't have that enabling environment or requirements or the documentations, they are not able to get the actual amount of loan. But if the government is able to include them in the system and then make provisions for them to be able to get these loans, I think it will really go a long way in helping them.
In Bayelsa and other rural parts of Niger Delta, many women are now exploring aquaculture, cassava processing, and local crafts as new pathways to income and independence. For real progress, the support must go beyond celebration to concrete actions that will truly transform their lives. From a Keki community, Ifoma Igoji, NTN News.
Indeed, the nation thrives when women are empowered. Another break is. Let's take a peep at the global scene now as the United States pushes plan to disarm Hamas and rebuild Gaza. Just as the United Nations warns that global trade system is at risk of derailment. Let's get all the details.
Vance met Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on the second day of a trip to Israel, part of a diplomatic tour in support of the U.S. brokered plan to end the fighting, recover hostages, and eventually rebuild the devastated Palestinian territory.
Do this the right way, it could create a model, I think, that could lead to other peace agreements all over the world, because it shows what's possible when you're willing to think outside the box and actually put some elbow grease to get it done.
In another development, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has warned that the rules-based system for international trade risks are coming off the rails.
Global debt has soared, poverty and hunger are still with us, and the international financial architecture is not providing an adequate safety net for the developing countries.
At the UN Conference on Trade and Development in Geneva, Guterres said too many countries were trapped in a debt crisis, spending more money on servicing creditors than funding health and education. Uche Ugochukwu, NTA News.